Hey, what's going on? I haven't done a video, a review video in a little while, but I have done like a gang of shorts. So just like go check out my page and just go look at like some of the reels or shorts that I have. But I did want to do a review on Jurassic World Rebirth. It's the new iteration, the newest movie part of the franchise of the Jurassic franchise. So let's go ahead and get into it. For key points, we have, well, key point characters. We have Bobby Atwater, Miss Bennett, who is played by Scarlett Johansson, Duncan Kincaid, who's played by Mahershala Ali. I'm not sure if I pronounced his name correctly. Um, and Dr. Henry Loomis, who is Jonathan Bailey. There's Rupert's friend. I'm trying to think. Oh, Rupert's friend is Dr. Henry Loomis. Okay, so yeah, that's just scratched out. You have Xavier, Teresa, Leclerc, Nina, Ruben, and Isabella. In the beginning, it shows essentially how we got to this point. It shows the facility, the R&D facility, showing that the Snickers wrapper was a cause for the containment failure. So the Snickers wrapper isn't the reason why the D-Rex looks like that. The Snickers wrapper really plays the only important roles that it plays is the fact that once it is dropped out of the pocket, that is the reason why the dude who is in the containment field, he's not able to come back out. Of course, homie getting trapped. Trying to hire her. The whole idea, like that's like a movie cliche where it's like a skilled warrior or a skilled tactician or something like that. And it's like they have to go and find him. And not only do they have to go and find him, they have to convince him or her to be a part of whatever it is that they're trying to do. So it's the natural cliche. Trying to hire her. Um, Going to a place off limits. That's usually like the thing with Jurassic Park, or normally with Jurassic Park, because once you got to like Jurassic World, it really was more kind of just save the dinosaurs. There's dinosaurs free. There's dinosaurs loose. How are we living with these dinosaurs? Like it was really just surrounding that. The whole idea of she's special ops. Meeting the doctor, Dr. Henry Loomis. The dinosaurs that they need. The dinosaurs that they need. I forget their names, but there's a flying dinosaur. There's this really tall dinosaur with like a whippy tail, and then there's a Mosasaurus. That's the only Mosasaur. That's the only one that I know of because I feel like that scene was more chaotic than any other scene. Um, and that's just the introduction when they because then it kind of splits off. It kind of splits off from there, and then they start bringing up. That's when you get Ruben, Teresa, Xavier, and Isabella. They're just out on the ocean. I think they were on the Atlantic or the Pacific, but they were essentially just trying to cross the ocean, get to the other side. But at this time, this is still around the time when the mosasaur is still, dinosaurs are still out on the loose. Main one, especially in this scenery, they're out in the ocean. The mosasaur. It's like, literally, if you saw that, like I think it was like Jurassic World Dominion, where they showed the mosasaur like ate somebody while they were surfing. So it's like, not only is it the idea that the mosasaur is out there, it's the idea that it is a predator and a carnivore. So it's going to eat meat and whatnot. I mean, you would think that with it being that big, it would probably go for something to nourish it more, like maybe like a killer whales, blue whales, sperm whales, any variation of whales. You would think that that's what it was going for, but instead, I don't know why. I think the dinosaurs of Jurassic just have a vendetta against humans, because that scenery right there, you have the mosasaur essentially trying to. Well, no, the mosasaur makes Ruben's ship, little boat, makes that capsize. So that is completely flipped over, and it's just plot armor for how they survived that. But then, when you have um, Scarlett Johansson's character, Duncan Kincaid, Henry Loomis, and the rest of the crew, once they hear the distress signal that Ruben sends off from his boat, they actually head towards that area and they save him. And then, just on a little side note, little backstory, Duncan Kincaid, Ali's character, we're just going to say Ali. Ali's character had something go on with where him and his wife were no longer together because of an incident that happened with their child. And he was, just part of what he was saying is that every time they looked at each other, they couldn't help but see their child. So they ended up separating. Um, so the reason why I brought that up is because, with the idea of there being people stranded and, people being stranded and then there being kids, that just touches his heart right there. Honestly, from the first couple viewpoints of the movie, you can already kind of guess that Ali is the type of dude that he's gonna try to save everybody if he can, or at least the majority of people. Meeting the doctor, and then also the reason why I had meeting the doctor as a key point is because of the fact that the doctor wasn't really too aware of how a lot of this stuff was going to go. So like, even when Bobby Atwater, even when he's telling he's telling Scarlett Johansson about the money, and she no and she's kind of like, okay, she's on board. But then when when they're all meeting the doctor, money isn't really a concern for him. He's more so concerned about his life, which he should be. That's the most important thing. I mean, like, fuck this money. Like, dude, like, you mean to tell me you want me to go to an island or go to this place where I could possibly not return? Like, fuck the money. Like, what the money is gonna do about that? Like, but essentially, the idea that with these dinosaurs, similar to like how with cobra venom or some other sources that come from animals, they're trying to see if they can make medicine from it. Essentially, that's what they're going to do. They're trying to get these specific dinosaurs because they are planning to prevent heart disease. Um, and it is essentially a race to get said information before others. So even if Scarlett Johansson's character, Ali's character, if they weren't along, if they weren't agreeing to do this and whatnot, it probably would have been somebody else, some other team that would have went out there and do it and did it. Um, the running into the mosasaur, that's pretty much what I wanted to what's called. Um, the mosasaur attack. Oh, before that, they're still obsessed with the idea of dinos in the wild. The idea that people don't care to see them. I mean, you have a scene where, of course, in almost every movie, it's like almost like an emotional scene where somebody has to place their hand or they have to physically touch a dinosaur, and it's just such a woo moment. So it's just the idea that it's like, that's bullshit. I mean, you get it. I guess it's a double-edged sword because from one of the last movies from Jurassic World, one of the last things that they were saying is that the people want to see more teeth. They want to see more claws. They want to be scared essentially and stuff like that. But it's like, all right, you do that, but then what's the outcome of that? Running into the mosasaur, I thought that was something definitely to talk about because, like I said, the mosasaur was already out there. So the idea of putting yourself in a situation out in the open ocean, that's, I don't want to say that's your fault, but I mean, it's kind of your fault. And then you brought your daughters and your oldest daughter's boyfriend. So it's like you have lives that you would be responsible for. Um, the Spinosaurus, like, essentially like having like a like double teaming the ship and whatnot. I thought that was kind of interesting because for the most part in Jurassic World or Jurassic Park, you don't really see two dinosaurs like essentially helping each other or like like going out of their way or double teaming stuff and whatnot. I mean, you see that in Jurassic World more because especially like with the scene where uh, the Mosasaur, the T Rex, and the Velociraptor kind of jump uh, the Indominus Rex. But other than that, you don't really see moments like that. You don't see moments like that and shit. So, because even in World Jurassic World Dominion, didn't they had like a T-Rex, and it was like some long clawed blind bird looking thing or something. Like it was different. It's different. But the idea that Bobby Atwater, him not helping the girl up, like literally her almost falling off the boat, and he's literally just making eye contact. Like, you piece of shit. You 100% piece of shit. Nina's death, I thought that was significant because when you finally see that, you know, everybody has arrived on the island, or, you know, from them jumping off the boat, jumping off the ship and whatnot, and then, you know, essentially getting to land. When you see that clip, you see that she's there. She's, you know, just got out of the water, and then you see in the background, you see that there's this, you know, rugged, ragged looking, rock looking formation. Come to find out that one of those rock looking formations is actually a Spinosaur, and the Spinosaur, you know, is aware that she is on the island. So it's like it's over here laying down, and she's like over here. But then once it, I guess, hears her, or just in general gets up, it gets up, but then you can see it like turning its body, and then all of a sudden you see the splash the water. So it means that it kind of burst, you know, there's water around, it kind of burst out towards her, grabbed her, drug her back into the water. Like, absolutely, like, that was definitely like just a moment where it was just like, wow, okay. So it's like that. But the one thing that I would take away from that is that during this whole point, you only see the D-Rex, the new mutant dinosaur. You only see the D-Rex a total of like 2 or 3 times the entire movie. The entire movie, you only see the D-Rex, the new mutant, the new proposed dinosaur. You only see it like once or twice. I would have thought, honestly, the way that they made it seem, I would have thought that maybe the D-Rex is on the island, and that it's just roaming around on the island. It's just roaming around on the island, that in the process of the people trying to get away from the D-Rex or stay away from it, they're running into these other obstacles as well. That's what I would have thought. But instead, it's them running into obstacles before they even get to the fucking D-Rex. And then when they get to the D-Rex, it's just, well, know what's about to happen now, because that's what y'all always do with the movies. Instead of, yeah, and that's one thing that it upsets me when I see some of these movies, that there's potential for a sequel. There's potential for a sequel, a good sequel, but they don't abide by it. A good sequel would have been keeping that golden boy on Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, or World something and whatnot. That would have been a good one. Even with this right here, with the D-Rex, keep the D-Rex alive. Let the D-Rex claim that island, like how the one T-Rex, the female T-Rex, is known on that one island and whatnot. Like, she, at the end of Jurassic World and whatnot, she did that big yell and stuff. It's like, all right, bet, let the D-Rex have this island. Like, you know what I mean? And then everybody just be aware of the D-Rex. Like, I don't know. People, I don't know. The idea of, it's a funny scene, but Xavier, the boyfriend, he actually asked around. He's like, well, I got weed. And he actually is asking around if anybody wants to smoke, or anybody smokes and whatnot. It's a moment where it's like, you dumbass, but at the same time, I see that being somebody that I know. I see that being somebody in a generation that I know, because like in this day and age, it's like people are just going to kind of just say what's on their mind instead of like just bottling that shit up. But anywho, there's another scene where Bobby Atwater is like, he's too smart to die, and I just want to say that's the most dumbest thing I've ever heard in movies in general. Too smart to die? That's impossible. Sometimes in certain scenarios, the smartest person is the first person to die. So it's just, I don't know. the high grass, when they're looking for these tall, long-necked dinosaurs that have these whip-like tails, it's the idea that they're in the tall grass, and granted, the grass is about the same height as come up to their shoulders or their neck or something. But it's the idea: how are these big ass dinosaurs hiding in the grass? Like they're several, like significantly taller than tall grass. Like when they stand up completely, like the tall grass is like it's like a dime to your shoe. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't know. It doesn't make sense. The T Rex taking a nap. One thing that would have kind of, I don't know, maybe it's like the distance wise. One thing that I also was thinking, I was like, wouldn't the D Rex and the T Rex have known of each other? Wouldn't they have been like, there's something else on my island? Like, wouldn't they have known of each other? Like, I don't know. That to me just felt like, I don't know. It felt like bullshit. It felt like a setup. It felt like bullshit. The whole playing hide and seek, we've never seen, as far as I'm concerned, we've never seen anything like that happen in Jurassic World or Jurassic Park, where the dinosaur is essentially playing like hide and seek. Never seen anything like that, so that definitely was a significant thing. The idea that the T Rex can swim, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. I mean, for the most part, a lot of the dinosaurs, a lot of the predatory dinosaurs that we see um in the Jurassic franchise, except for like Golden Boy, and that's who I'm calling, that has the golden stripe, the Indoraptor. I'm calling that Golden Boy, and the Indominus Rex. Those are like, I want to say, those are the only two dinosaurs that we don't get to see in an aquatic region. For the most part, you'll see like, I think like the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3. I'm trying to think, because I don't think that the Velociraptors dabbled in water in any of the movies too much. Huh. Well, anyway, moving on. Um, the idea of the T Rex going after humans, that's something that I saw in another video that he does reviews as well. It's called Cinema Sins and also Cinema Wins. Check out both their pages. Um, but a very interesting notion that was said is that the idea that the T Rex is even going after the humans, like you would, like for the most part, like the humans aren't going to serve as many nutrients to a T Rex as some other dinosaur. I guess maybe it's more so just the idea of like not scavenging, but just an easy meal. Like, because what can a human really do to a T Rex? You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of them having like weaponry and whatnot, like what can they really do to a T Rex in comparison to some of the other critters or some of the other little creatures that a T Rex might try to hunt? You know, some of the other creatures or critters, they might try to hide, you know, fly away and stuff like that. But humans is really just, we're bipedal. We're just on land the whole time. So it's the idea, can we really, you know, you're not really gonna get away from a T Rex. You know, let's just be real. So Leclerc's death by the Cow Atlas, I want to say. Um, that was interesting because they're literally trying to pull him up, and then in the process, when the bird comes up, the Cow Atlas comes up, you see it has like his legs like dangling out of his mouth. So it's like, damn. The introduction to the D Rex finally. Um, Honestly, the D Rex is really ugly. It reminds me of that one creature on Star Wars, mixed with, I don't know, just something. It reminds me of something mixed with the creature off Star Wars, one of the Star Wars movies, mixed with a creature off the movie Coneheads. Like, it's really disturbing to look at. I like the idea of the hybrid raptors. Um, it's just the idea that not only are they hybrids, but the fact that they're raptors, so they have some form of intelligence as well. Um, The mutant raptors in the tunnels, I think that was definitely something to talk about. Definitely something to talk about and whatnot, because you had Scarlett Johansson that saw the Raptors go down there, or saw the Raptor go down there, but then pretty much like the tunnels are like a maze, so she didn't know exactly where it went. Um, I don't know. That was just an incredible scene because that was another. For the most part, you don't really see too many dinosaurs that get killed by gunfire. They almost seem damn near bulletproof. So to have that, I thought that was kind of cool. Um, and then last but not least, Duncan standoff with the D-Rex. I think that was definitely the part that you want to end the movie on. Definitely want to end the movie on that because he literally has a standoff with the D-Rex, and then you see the light die off, and you see the D-Rex, but it's like, okay, you see the D-Rex, what happened to Duncan? So then to see Duncan later, it's like, that's what's up. And then for the normal trope that usually black people die in movies. You know what I mean? So the idea that he actually survived, I thought that was kind of cool. All in all, I'm a fan of the franchise, so I'd give the franchise 10 out of 10. But this movie specifically, I feel like there were so many things that could have been fixed, could have been better. I give this movie a 7.5, 7.5. I think it could have really been better. But until further notice.